just come to embrace you, Father God, and just right now, Father God, receive from you right now, Father God. I pray right now, Father God, you will give us revelation of yourself, Father God, and I ask, Lord, that you continue to speak, Father God, through me, Father God, and that we will hear from you, Father God, and not from any flesh or anything that's not of you right now. We ask that you purify, sanctify all that's said here today. There's nothing that's said or done here, felt or experienced, that is contrary to your will.
Yes, Lord
We
Jesus.
give you honor and glory right now, in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Hallelujah. It's okay.
Good morning, well, good afternoon, everyone. I was playing, yes, don't go over Thank you. Maybe just my ear. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Before I get started, I need to make an announcement to everyone. It's very important. It's long overdue, but we've been going through a process, mostly me, but we've gone through a process now. Next Sunday, at 11, well, doing 11 o'clock service, I will be up again, but we're going to have a totally different format. Next Sunday, I'm going to give a summary report on to the congregation, and hopefully many can be here, can get this, on everything that's going on with the building project. Well, the building, what we're pursuing, and what we've had to do. So I'm going to bring you completely up to date to everything we have done and where we stand now and what plan we've come up with for the future. It's taken a while, but I don't want to get ahead of that, but everything's a process.
Amen.
Nothing is done over. So I owe you that information, and the only reason I waited in case anybody's wondering.
It's the speaker.
Yeah, it's just, I'm sorry. But at any rate, next Sunday, and once the information summarized, everything is pertinent, once we launch a new website, we will put it on the websites. Not that I don't want you to have information. Me, I just feel as the pastor, I do not owe you partial information. If I can't give you enough for you to get a picture and understand what we're talking about, I would be remiss in just throwing stuff out to just say something. I've never been my mode of operating. So next Sunday. In addition to that, I will make my email address available to anybody that still has any question, want to ask a question in private. You can email me and I will answer it. I will go public, I will go private, I will do whatever you want. I'm going to be completely open to you. But, okay, I'll leave that alone because I'll start ahead of time. Okay, so we're clear on that. It was something else. We're going to have Holy Communion today also, so govern yourself accordingly for that. All right, I got good news for everyone. Today I'm going to finish the series. I know it seems like it's taken forever, but today we're going to talk about the Promised Land. The Promised Land. And this will be the, I don't know if it's been 4 or 5 parts, not really that important, but we've been talking about, you know, the way of the wilderness and all of the scriptures that tie into what we call the way of the wilderness. When I was using the analogy of the children of Israel, the exodus from Egypt, the journey through the wilderness, which is essentially the desert. And today we're going to wrap up with the arrival in the Promised Land. Now, I'm do like Pastor Dave, look into the camera. I do not want anybody to understand during the course what I'm talking about. Do not think of the Promised Land as any particular place now.
There you go.
Don't think that there's some little plot of land somewhere on the face of the earth that you got to get in it to be where God wants you to be.
Amen.
That would be kind of ludicrous. So first, everybody on earth will fit. Don't think about the Promised Land as that. Think of the Promised Land as, for us currently, because there's going to be two things. We're going to look at the history, but we need to apply it to the present. The promised land is more of a state of being right now, presently. Because once we get to look at this, when God emphasized this, it wasn't as much about the place as it was about the people. And there are certain conditions. We did talk about, and looking at the salvation process, earlier we talked about the salvation of the children of Israel as they were delivered from Egypt, from sin, from under the bondage of sin and Pharaoh, and was taken. They were liberated. So the first thing in our spiritual experience is to be delivered from the power of sin.
Amen.
So that's the analogy we want to draw to it. See, the Bible is just not some story that has no meaning. The thing is, we can tell a story without telling the meaning, and then the story becomes insignificant because we don't add any meaning to it. We just regurgitate the history, but we don't know what the history means. There's an analogy with being delivered from sin in what we call the salvation process now, and the same thing the children of Israel. When they were in bondage to Pharaoh, they had to obey Pharaoh. And when a person is not saved or not delivered, we have to obey evil. The kingdom of darkness, Satan, is the master. He is the master. When you're not, oh, he just got problems, he got issues. No. You are compelled to obey the master. So if we're not obeying the master of the kingdom of light, we are obeying the master of the kingdom of darkness. There's no two ways about it. We're not making our own decision. We think we are, but we're really not. So the first thing we have to be is delivered, and to be liberated from where we were to be able to go where we need to be.
All right.
And this is the part that causes some problems for some people, is that deliverance is for us to get into that new, empower us to have a new relationship with God. From Satan being the master, letting God be the master. And what God did with the children of Israel, we took them by way of the wilderness, through the desert. Because when they were going, if they'd gone the easy way, so well, there's an army here, and if they go to battle, they are not ready. They're going to turn and go back where they came from. So I'm going to take them around the trouble right now. It's going to take a while, so you have to have that wilderness experience, but we need that wilderness experience because if we try to take shortcuts, somebody we try to mentor people, try to disciple them into this and set up some artificial guidelines like, okay, you got saved, you need to be doing this, you need to be a new member, you need to be tithing by this time, and blah, 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 you need to be a deacon by this time, like you got to check certain blocks to prove your spiritual. No, God didn't do that. How long? 40 years. They stayed in the wilderness. Now, that would have been God's design, but there was a reason that they had to go. They had to stay in the wilderness 40 years. But understand there's a process from being saved to get into what I like to call the promised land. It's not only time, but there's a process that we have to go through. There's things that need to happen and need to change before we get to the promised land. Because actually, I don't know if anybody else, richly gets saved. I didn't like, okay, I know so much of God, I'm just to be true and faithful, you can trust me with anything, God. I know I got saved last month, I'm ready to be a pastor this month.
Oh my.
Matter of fact, I think we'll go straight from being saved to being an apostle, so let's gather the people and pull out the certificates. But there's a reason to go through the wilderness. You get to trust God, you get to know God better, you get to rely on God, and you get to learn more about how His kingdom works. There are no shortcuts in the kingdom. God doesn't do shortcuts. None, zero, nada. Now lastly, we're talking about the promised land. We're going to look today, and if you would, please turn to the book of Joshua, chapter 1. We're going to look at chapter 1 through 3. Joshua chapter 1, all the way through 3. If we look at what the children of Israel went to in the state that they are right now, what God's about to do with them. Is this the one? What they're going to do, we'll see that this is not, the people don't have the same mindset now as they had when they left Egypt. The whole purpose of getting saved, sometimes I hesitate to use that word because I don't know if people who say it sometimes actually understand it. But the whole purpose of getting saved is not so much so I don't get drunk anymore, or I don't go to the club anymore, or, don't dress this way or do that. The whole purpose of getting saved is to get really a new mind. Because if I just start going to church and I haven't changed my mind about anything, I have made zero change. I'm just, instead of going to hell from out in the world, I'm going to hell from church. It's possible. Right, Elder Jones? It's possible. This is not some get out of hell free zone, whatever. Just calm enough and you build up some kind of immunity to Satan and no, it can't be done. We have to change our mind. Attack is over to our mind. So all this time, God is getting people to change a different way, and certain things is happening right now, and we're going to see the difference in when the people started. I have one scripture going to look at that, and where they are now to go into the promised land. See, the promised land is not just guaranteed. It's not just automatic. It's not like I've accumulated so many points, and now I'm going to go turn it in and go, okay, God, you're in the promised land now. I done went to church, and I done tithed for 5 years or 10 years or whatever. I done made all these days. I've been like 80% attendance. So it's time for you to just reward me richly and put me in this favorite spot. You owe me this position, God. God said, nah, I don't think so. So we're going to look at Joshua and see what this promised land is about. So bear with me if you're at Joshua chapter 1. I'm going to read verses 1 through 9 first. And like to consider this, first thing God does before he makes this move is establish leadership. And I'll read it and we'll see right now. Okay, hopefully everyone's there now. Joshua chapter 1, verses 1 through 9. And I'm reading out of the New King James. It says, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spoke to Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' assistant, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, you and all this people, to the land which I have given to them, the children of Israel. Every place, this in quotation mark, that's the other verse. Every place that the sole of their feet shall tread upon, I have given you, as I said to Moses. From the wilderness and its Lebanon, as far as the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, to the great sea toward the going down of the sun shall be your territory. Now listen to this. No man shall be able to stand before you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and of good courage for this people, and you shall divide it as an inheritance, the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. Only be strong and very courageous, that you may observe to do according to the law, which Moses' servant commanded you. Do not turn to the right hand or to the left, that you may prosper wherever you go. The book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. But have I not commanded you? Be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid, nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go.
Amen. Amen.
See, God is saying, okay, my servant Moses is dead, now Joshua, you arise. You're the leader. But to be the leader, this is what you need to do. And it's interesting that he didn't exalt Joshua and said, go and count, see how many swords, how many men you got, how many horses and chariots, how much ammo you got. Here's the battle plan. He didn't come up with all that. He just said, go figure this out, go make allegiances with these people here, you're going to run into this, build barriers and this, that, else. He told them to do nothing that pertains to natural things. What did he tell them to do? Be strong and of good courage, that you may observe to do according to all the law. That was his weapon. our weapon, brothers and sisters, is obedient to God. You see, you get ready to go into this, and you have to conquer this comfort, but you're going to conquer it with knowledge and submission to me. In fact, all you have to do is just be in me. Now imagine that. Be in me and do that. Imagine if a human had that much power. I know all the time, Brother Nick in the Army. If you imagine an army, the president, any president of the United States, I'm not talking about anyone in particular, any president, because he's the commander-in-chief, would issue that type order. Like, don't worry about how much ammo you have. I have so much power. This enemy you're going to get, all you have to do is do what I tell you to do, and you will conquer. Now that'll give, a person that had a revelation, that's some serious confidence. But he put some stipulations on there. That this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night. And we need to do that, to have that mindset that you may observe to do all this according to written on. See, we can't do what we don't know. We can't do what we don't focus on. To get in that promised land, see, there's no shortcut. God said, look, you got to be ready for this. Because right now, you're about to enter this zero tolerance on this zero variance. You have zero margin for error. God said either you take it all or you get none. Because it said day and night. So you meditate on it, and we have to meditate. Say, Josh, you got to meditate on my word to be able to do it. So when I fail to do the word, I'm thinking, well, maybe I just haven't, devoted enough time to making it part of me. Because you meditate on something like I like to use marinade. You marinate a steak or whatever, sauce or whatever you put up, and let it in there, and the juices get soaked in till the steak actually becomes like that sauce. Matter of fact, you don't smell the raw meat anymore. What do you smell when you cook? You smell the sauce. That's how life be. We so be marinated in God's word that when we experience the word, they don't see us, they don't see God.
Awesome.
We just walk around just radiating God. Look, that ain't me. Just do whatever you want to me. It doesn't matter. Because you're about to go, the only way for you to experience this promised land is to be in line with me. All these encounters, all these challenges you're about to meet, you cannot defeat it without me. Because if you go against this enemy, and this enemy gets the whip of you, you are defeated. You can't show him any of yourself. Because you don't have the power. I don't have the power to go out and do what's right.
That's right.
Irregardless of what we hear this idiotic teacher sometimes do this, like step 1, 2, 3, and like doing a hokey pokey or the electric slide or something, then all of a sudden presto change your God. Oh, look at him, he's doing the electric slide. I'm gonna be like, no. God said you need to stop doing that. There's no formula to do that. God said obey his word and meditate on it, then you're gonna do it. You know what? We're going to push out everything that's not of him to the point that we only become like him. Because I'm saying we are only worthy to inhabit the promised land when we are in the accordance and submitted to the man, to the entity, the God that's given us the land. God says, I hold a title to this land. So if you want this land, if you want deed to this land, you got to go and show me. This is your security. It's me, not you. So then, in verse 8 again, then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Good success. See, obviously, if it's such thing as good success, that's bad success. Well, I did what I wanted to do, but it sure didn't work out. Well, you didn't do it my way. You might have succeeded in what you were doing, but you didn't prosper. And God's reminded Joshua again, have I not commanded you, be strong and good courage? Do not be afraid nor be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you in whatever you do. God is restoring, giving Joshua that confidence. Because understand, he's got to lead these people. He got to lead them into a spirit that they're not accustomed to.
Come on.
See, as before, as Moses had to deal with all these people with the slave mentality, now Joshua dealt with people with the wilderness mentality. They never had a stable land. They've been running around in the desert all these years. It wouldn't be 40 for all of them. Because the other generation had died out. So he's saying, Joshua, you can't rely on yourself because you're ready to do something that hadn't been done before. I'm going to take you, and think about it in the natural, how unusual this would sound. I'm going to take you and this nation of people in these prescribed areas, this geographic location, and you are to go in there, and the people that are there are going to flee from you. You have to conquer them. And we can look at the battles, I may or may not get into that. But he's telling you, understand that I'm with you, so all you have to do is do what I say. That's what God is saying. Now, believers get in trouble a whole lot because we do, and God can speak in a lot of ways. He can speak directly to us, he can speak through other people, and sometimes in the general setting, he speaks corporately, he speaks individually. But we got to be aware, brothers and sisters, because the reason we have to meditate on this word day and night, I'm still talking about the promised land, but there's a lot stipulation to it, is we have to understand what is the voice of God and what is not.
Come on, come on.
Because when we don't follow the voice of God, we start following the voice of men because we cannot tell the difference. We're not going to be in the promised land. We're going to be in this Bay of Neverland with Peter Pan and Tinkerbell and Captain Hook all around you, and you're going to wonder, why am I here? That's a spiritual Neverland because we are striving to what people are saying instead of what God said.
Oh, Lord. Speak, Lord.
I'm saying, oh Lord,
Come over.
sometimes you need to stick to the notes. It's been taped, so there it is. I said Neverland, I mean Neverland. Because you got the lost boys and all the nonsense and that people that's creating illusion that it's church and this is where God wants it to be. No, God doesn't want you to be there. You get whipped up to the fringe altar, oh, and it never surprises me. They whip you up in the fringe and then all of a sudden somebody wants some money. See, what they're going to do, they want to get you distracted and not think. Like, well, I don't even know if I'm running around through here. I don't know about this. This ain't looking right. Oh, money. Oh, everybody's looking. Everybody start running to the stage. So I'm not going to go against the system. I'm not going to go against the grain. It's not the promised land. And then you have to, well, guess I need ramen noodles for the next week. So foolish, I left all my money on the altar. But God gives you ramen noodles in return. So that's stupid. Okay, I know that is not a good word. Yeah. But spiritually, we don't want to do that. We don't, because the promised land is a state of being.
Yes.
See, we're in the promised land. We're not in the promised land big. God, I'm taking care of you.
Come on.
We don't beg. There's no begging in the promised land.
Come on.
No chicken sandwiches and fish sandwiches and car wash and fundraisers. And yeah, I'm going there. No. You don't have them back there trying to manipulate people to give and do all this and do crazy stuff and giving people this false doctrine about this or false doctrine about that and tell you need to vote for somebody because they'll do this. Well, that ain't the prayer, it's madness. That's worse than the Neverland. I mean, Peter Pan makes more sense than that. So I'm going to vote for somebody because allegedly they're going to change something that people been voting for them to change stuff for like 50 or 60 years, but none of it has changed.
None.
Keep paying and it's going to change. No, it's not going to change. It's going to stay the same. That's the world system. Voting in politics is the world system. It has nothing to do with the problem.
That's right.
And I'm not saying anything about it, but what it is. Politics is the world system. Brothers and sisters, we cannot rely on politics to do anything. We're in the promised land. You don't need the world system.
That's word.
God said, do what I say. He didn't say vote for this individual or support this agenda. Oh, God. See, I shouldn't watch something. But see, we got to know one thing, because part of the problem is dominating on God's word. When we really see God's word, we'll know that certain things are done in this world system. Once you analyze it, it is nothing but a bunch of smoke and mirrors. I think the Crips and the Blood said the best thing that I ever understood when they're doing this special on gangs. The Crips said the Republicans and the Democrats are the two biggest gangs in America.
Yeah, all right.
And I agree with it. So I'm going to leave that alone. I don't worry about taking on 501c3 status. They can come and try to take what they want. But they better be careful. Because it's a drawbridge and God be letting it up so you come and attack you and step in the moat. So you can come on if you want. You might walk over, but you're going to live back. Yeah, all right. I just had to put them back where they belong. All right, let me move on. The promised land, but understand, brother, so we want to understand the promised land is not more a place as it is a state of being. Because we see God there with the state of being. It wasn't actual error. There was an area of the world that God was putting his people in back then. But his first priority was their state of being, their mindset, their relationship with him.
Amen.
So let's look at what Joshua does when he commands, when he assumes command with the rest of us, chapter 1. Starting verse 10. So then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, pass through the camp, command the people, saying, prepare provisions for yourself, for within 3 days you will cross over this Jordan and go in to possess the land which the Lord your God is giving you to possess. Now see, he's leading, but see now God said, everything we're about to do, this is what God did. I'm only commanding you to do, or to go in the direction that God says, not what I think. And the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh, and to the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh, Joshua spoke, saying, remember the word of Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, saying, the Lord your God is giving you rest and is giving you this land. So these tribes already had land, but it's on the other side of Jordan where they are right now. They got their land. So you remind them of this. You got your land, so good. So your wives and your little ones, your livestock shall remain in this land, which Moses gave you on this side of the Jordan. But you shall pass before your brethren armed with all your mighty men of valor and help them. Okay, even though you have been established, you got your inheritance. Now your family, your wife, and your children stay here, your livestock can get here. But everybody that's able to wage war is coming with us. Because this is not just about you. You're going to wage war with your brethren until they get what you got. And read what it says. It says, until the Lord has given your brethren rest as he gave you, and has also taken possession of the land which your Lord your God has given him. Then you shall return to the land of your possession and enjoy it, which Moses the Lord's servants gave you on this side of the Jordan toward the sunrise. Understand that. See, there's a commonality there. So God said, it's telling Moses, tell the people, just because you have yours right here, but you are required to help your brethren acquire what you have. Think about that as a united thing. If that was standard toward this promised land experience. So if I know how to prosper, I am responsible for ensuring that everybody that I affiliate with that's in the kingdom can prosper also.
Yes, Lord.
And we don't rest until we all achieve the same thing.
Amen.
So that is a process in the kingdom. We don't rest until we all have achieved the same thing.
Praise God.
He said, then you can go back and enjoy your land. But before you enjoy the rest and the peace, you got to go and participate in warfare. In warfare for your brothers. Today we'll call it ministry. What things we like to do here is because there's never any end state. As you experience new people, there's always people that have different levels of establishment than the promised land of the kingdom. And it's responsibility for those that have more peace, that are somewhat established, to go and participate in the warfare for others. And that could manifest in a lot of ways, like inviting them to meetings, like the chatting to Ms. Catherine out here, where people speak into your life and have an opportunity. See, they're not resting, they can sit back. I don't really need this, I'm fairly mature. And I can understand that. If you think about a lot of the ladies, and we'll just use the ladies for just an example now, their maturity level, like, I don't really need to go to Chat and Chew to get anything, because, I sort of know a lot of these principles. I've been practicing these principles a lot of years. You know why they're there? They're there to give something.
Yeah.
That's what warfare is to give, because not everybody's there. And it's not the one that's way up here
There you
great,
go.
and somebody way down here is insignificant. No. It's going to, in this communal relationship that we have is being, I am responsible for what I have mastered to whatever degree to give and to use that to bring someone else to another level, to fight on their behalf,
That's word.
to try to show them something that they may not be aware of. And sometimes, brothers and sisters, it'll work out where you get shown something that you may not be, well, not necessarily get shown something new, but to get revelation of something that's there that you may be unaware was there.
Amen.
With me, it's like sometimes I get with a band of brothers, it's not so much learning new stuff, it's back, you know, like, God, I get these weird analogies. But when I was in the army, come with you with the, I'll go away, try to make this quick. This is a serious bunny tree, a lot of people understand it. But anyway, to use the handsets on the radios, that's what I did. We had a handset. Inside the handset, there were 5 pins we had like brass. They were brass, shiny, gold. But see, if you put it on there, of course, time it gets corroded and it'll turn black. And if you didn't check it and put it on there and try to talk, it wouldn't work because you couldn't get the connections. It was Nick understand you couldn't get any connection through that corrosion. So you know what we had to do? All they do was take a pencil eraser, turn it up, scrape the black off, and now I got a good connection.
Wow.
See, of course, we go through things, and times we need to experience each other where it's something I got some corrosion. I'm not saying it was sin and anything like that. I just need somebody to rub against me and knock that stuff off so I shine.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. You got it.
Amen. Amen.
That's what we're doing. So it's not like I said, oh, well, I need to speak into your life, brother. That's madness. But see, we can interact. We certainly talking about football, motorcycles, whatever, army, anything. But next, we don't really know, you know, in the natural, it looks like we're doing this, but in the spirit, we are erasing that corrosion at the world. Because Satan can't change who we are, but he wants to put that as much as he can to disconnect us.
There you go.
So when we fellowship, we knock that, his attempt to disconnect us off by connecting, because see, the more you use that handset, the less corrupted it gets. But sometimes it has to sit around and not be used. So when we go to partner with each other and that fellowship with each other, it gives a chance for us to interact, to sharpen and shine each other up.
Amen.
God never was told, I need to speak in your life. No, I don't need to speak in my life. Let's sit down, we'll talk about football. Then I get to see who you are, you get to see who I am.
Amen.
And you know what? I'm like, oh, okay. It works, I'm telling you, that formula worked. That's what Jesus did. He was always testing his disciples. Like, I've been teaching you this, now I'm gonna let you go out and try it. He said, okay, well, come on back. Let's do this again. So understand, that's the way that it works. So verse 16 says, so they answered. Did I read that before that? Yeah. Did I read 15?
Yes, you do.
Okay, I'll read it again. Until the Lord has given your brethren rest, as he gave you, and also has taken possession of the land which the Lord your God has given them. Then you shall return to the land of your possession and enjoy it, which Moses, the Lord's servant, gave to you on this side of the Jordan, toward the sunrise. Now, 16. Now listen to this. Well, before I read 16, I'm going to reverse myself here. I'm going to go back. You don't have to do it, but you can make note of it if you like to keep notes. In Exodus chapter 14, yes. Exodus 14, start with verse 9. And it would be 9 through 12. Now this is way back then because I want to use this to compare with what I'm about to read over here in Joshua. Exodus 14, 9 through 12 reads. So the Egyptians pursued them. This is when the children of Israel were back up against the Red Sea, and Pharaoh, who was a Satan-type figure, God has hardened his heart, so he's sending his army after to get his slaves back. And understand he's representing Satan there. So understand, once you are saved and delivered from the kingdom of darkness into the kingdom of light, they're not going to sit there, oh, well, you escaped, never mind. No, Satan will do the best he can to send those hounds to track you down like the old slave catchers and bring you back.
Uh-oh.
Or at least keep you like thinking you got to run from him so much you never function with where you are. The slave catchers coming. They coming.
There it is.
Cause see, sometimes we don't know that they can't take us back. So anyway, this is the people's reaction when they thought that Pharaoh was coming to take them back. So Pharaoh pursued them. All the horses and the chariots of Pharaoh, his horsemen, his army, overtook them, camping by the sea beside field and that other place. And when Pharaoh drew near, the children of Israel lifted their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them. So they were very afraid. And the children of Israel cried out to the Lord. Then they said to Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, have you taken us away to die in the wilderness? Why have you dealt so with us to bring us out of Egypt, up out of Egypt? Is it not the word that we told you in Egypt? Now see, they telling Moses, didn't we tell you when we was in Egypt? Leave us alone that we may serve the Egyptians. For it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians that we should die in the wilderness.
Wow.
So they see the slave catchers coming, and they told Moses, see, we told you to leave us alone. We were better off when we were slaves. Now we're going to get killed in the wilderness. That was this generation's attitude when they got to face conflict. Thought they were facing conflict. And I want to do this as a comparison. Now let's read the rest of this. Now Joshua just told them all this, verse 16. Now back in Joshua 1. It says, so they answered Joshua saying, all that you command us, we will do. What? Don't sound like the same people, does it? And wherever you send us, we will go. Sound like SEAL Team 6. So just show us the enemy and get everything else out of the way, because the enemy is going down. So we will do what you say, we will go where you say. Just as we heeded Moses in all things, so we will heed you. Only the Lord your God be with you as he was with Moses. Now see how their attitude have changed? Their reliability, like, okay, we're going to do this. But right now we're putting one caveat. We want God to be with you as he was with Moses. And why is that? You see how they transferred that? It looks real subtle, but sometimes we don't analyze it. They said, well, even though we were doing what Moses said, we were following God. We're going to do what you say, Joshua, but we're following God. So actually, they're putting Joshua on notice that we behind you 100%. But right now, we want to be sure that God is with you as he was with Moses.
Yes,
so we never get entrapped by following a man. We want to follow God.
Okay.
Amen.
We always want to follow God.
Hallelujah.
We're going to follow you only because you're God's man.
Yeah.
And we can see that you're God's man. And that's the only reason, that's the only way we're going to follow you. And brothers and sisters, get to that promised land and understand the promise. That's what we should always follow. We shouldn't follow anything else except for what God says. It has to be any leader that tries to be a leader that will not conform or does not want to be restricted or analyzed by God's word is not a leader, not in the kingdom.
Amen.
You're a deceiver, you're a liar, you're a cheat, you're a hireling. You're doing something that is not ungodly. Why people who say they're godly follow ungodly people, I do not understand. Because we're all supposed to have that discernment, like that when marination comes. I'm thinking, okay, if I've been marinated in this sauce and I smell like this sauce, I can deal with Elder Jones. Okay, he smells like this, so I can do it. I can relate to him. He say something, I'm gonna receive. He got my full 100% attention.
Hallelujah.
But guess what? When I smell raw meat, flesh, and you and all that nonsense, you need to pack that up and fly back off to Neverland. And matter of fact, you need to stay there. Because the time is coming, we can't be dealing with this madness trying to sort of, what is it? Oh, this minister did this, or the preacher did this, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, he's a child molester, so well, we moved him from being the children pastor. We made him the youth pastor. So
Hallelujah.
I know that's an extreme analogy. I'm not using that based on the occasion. See, we can't do that. Because, see, these people saying, look, what we're about to do is serious. God has promised this. We cannot follow anything that's not God.
That's right.
So even Joshua, I mean, you're great, Joshua. Okay, we got 100% confidence in you, but you need to know one thing, though. We're only dealing with the God in you. As much as you need to align with God, okay, we down with everything you're doing according to what God says do. We We ain't running back, we're not afraid, we have no fear. But we're only gonna follow you when we see that God is with you, and you're doing what God said you're doing, and not making stuff up. But they even went even further. I mean, these people were extremely radical. Listen to 18. I love this one. Well, y'all know me. Verse 18 says, whoever rebels against your command and does not heed your words, in all that you command him shall be put to death. It's, we have zero tolerance for anybody that's not on board with what God is doing.
Okay.
We're not going to try to counsel you, set up and, give you a timeout, give you some remedial training, set up an alternative ministry for people that's not quite on board. It's not. We're going to kill anybody that will not follow God's leader. And I'm not saying we need to do that now, but that's some serious stuff. We need to really look at what it took to get to the promised land, because these people weren't joking. It's anybody that's going to hinder this move of God, we just don't kill them. And we're not killing them because we're malicious or mad. We're not like the Taliban or ISIS that want to cut people's heads off. We're not going to let anything stand between us and what God has for us. And if I have to kill something to get there, it will die. That's what they're saying. I know that's radical. Very radical. But they're telling Joshua, look at that, they summarize it. You, Joshua, I'm paraphrasing of you, it says, only be strong and of good courage. That means do not hesitate to what God's telling you to do. Have confidence in doing what God says you do. We got your back, Joshua. We're lined up with God, you're lined up with God, and we're going to go do this thing for God. And woe be to anything or anybody that gets in the way or tries to hinder this promised land in spirit, that tries to hinder us going and do what God would tell us to do. That's pretty sobering. Because you do understand that if we try to put in the days of vernacular, Joshua will be what we would call a modern day a pastor or overseer for a congregation. Don't think of today's, but I'm just using that as a term. Because he was responsible for the flock. He represented God to the people. He had to align himself with God. And they were so aligned and they were so in unison with God, and he was so in unison with God, that the people saw what Joshua was doing as being in line with what God was doing. So they didn't have any hesitance about it. They had no qualms about following him. So it's a high bar. And I have to be completely honest right now, in the postmodern church now, in some cases there's no standard.
Amen.
Like whatever, just that's close enough. How much money we got? Oh, we good. Anybody get arrested this week?
Wow.
Very interesting. Very interesting. To think about the attitude. Now you see why, and I'm not going to finish this. I'll do part 2, Sister Monique, because she's always holding me accountable to finish. Because I like to hop on, but I am. We're just going to stop on one right now, because we're going to do Holy Communion. But we got to understand this, to get to this promised land, it's not some automatic thing. This situation where God will have people, right? That's why it's so protective, and that's why God showed this process to me. I see it as an analogy for us now. Because a lot of believers, we hinder ourselves from being in that promised land because we don't subscribe to this formula. Nobody wants to go through the wilderness, want to do shortcuts, want to be blessed by sending some criminal stuff through the mail and get some water from the sink. Maybe out of his commode, I don't know where he gets it from.
Oh, Jesus.
That alleged to perform miracles. Now, if I have, well, I'm going to be honest now, I better stop. Because we just the Holy Communion to cut me out. But if I have water that perform miracles, I would not be selling it. I'd be pumping so much of it, y'all turn. I don't know, that's just me. Maybe I'm just too weird. I mean, if it really does what you said it would do, Why are you selling it if it's so valuable? And if you're trying to do what God says, why don't you just give it to me? Because I'm thinking, if you got something to do in miracles, then you set. So you need to be giving this away. You need to ride around the country, bless everybody with it. Okay, I better stop. There I go trying to make sense out of nonsense. I'm back from Neverland now. Part 2, and tomorrow, please share with brothers and sisters. I know some may be out of town, but to next week we will have a full record of where we stand as far as living and steps we're making to get whatever us to be. where we
Amen.
need to be. This being said, ask Elder Green to